Here is something nobody is telling you, and honestly, after decades of working in health education, it still bothers me that most people go their entire lives without hearing this. Every single year after the age of 40, you lose roughly 1% of the specialized cells inside your eyes. Just gone, quietly, without any alarm, without any pain, without any warning whatsoever. And here is the part that should really stop you cold. By the time you actually notice something is wrong, by the time the blurriness starts, by the time you are squinting at menus and struggling to read your phone in the morning, over 40% of your eye's protective layer is already destroyed, gone, before you ever felt a single symptom. That is not a scare tactic. That is cellular biology. And your doctor almost certainly has not sat down and explained it to you in those terms. But here is what I want you to hold on to right now, because this is why you are here and why the next 45 minutes could genuinely change the trajectory of your vision. Certain common seeds, seeds that cost pennies, seeds you can buy at any grocery store, seeds that have been sitting on shelves right next to you for years, contain specific compounds that can actually reverse this damage. Not slow it down a little, not mask the symptoms temporarily, reverse it. Restore the biological processes your eyes depend on to stay clear, sharp, and functional. And the fastest one among them, the seed we are going to talk about at the very top of our ranking, begins working within 72 hours of your first proper dose. I want you to close your eyes for just a second and imagine waking up tomorrow morning. Instead of that familiar, gummy, blurry fog that greets you every day when you first open your eyes, things come into focus faster. The burning that usually hits within the first few minutes of being awake is quieter. The dryness that makes you reach for artificial tears before you even get out of bed is softer. The glare that turns every oncoming headlight into a painful explosion of light at night, calmer. That is not fantasy. That is not wishful thinking. That is biology doing exactly what it is designed to do when you give it the right tools. Today I am going to rank 7 specific seeds from least to most effective for repairing, protecting, and restoring your vision. We are going to talk about the science, the preparation methods that most people are completely getting wrong, and the exact daily protocols that give you the best possible results. By the time we reach number 1, the seed at the very top of this list, you are going to understand that it reduces oxidative damage in the lens by up to 53%. 53%. And it produces 3 specific and measurable improvements: slower cataract progression, improved lens clarity, and reduced morning blurriness within days of starting. Now here is the strange part. You have walked past this seed hundreds of times. It is sitting in a bin at your local grocery store right now. It probably costs less than $3 for a bag that lasts 3 weeks, but almost nobody is eating it correctly. The way most people consume it, the way most people store it, the way most people prepare it, your body is absorbing almost none of the compounds that actually matter. And this goes against everything conventional eye care has been telling you to do. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why your vision has kept getting worse despite following the standard advice, and exactly what to do about it starting tomorrow morning. Let's get into it. Before we continue, a doctor friend of mine who has been teaching and working in healthcare for many years has also put together a helpful guide focused on simple ways to reduce inflammation and support your energy levels, including a free 7-day anti-inflammatory meal plan. You can download it from the link below any of our videos. Check the comment section of this video. If you're specifically looking for natural approaches to support blood pressure or diabetes management, I recommend checking out a friend of mine who focuses entirely on those topics. She shares detailed practical information that you may find very helpful. I'll leave a link to her channel in the pinned comment so you can easily find it. Now, before we talk about the seeds themselves, you need to understand what is actually happening inside your eyes right now. Because once you see this clearly, nothing about your vision decline will feel mysterious or inevitable anymore. Here is the truth. Starting around age 40, the lens of your eye begins losing its antioxidant defense system at an accelerating rate. We are talking about roughly 15% of that defense capacity lost every decade after 40. By the time most people reach their 60s, the lens is operating on a fraction of the protection it had just 20 years earlier. The star of this defense system, the compound your lens depends on more than almost anything else, is called glutathione. Think of glutathione as the master shield for your lens. When glutathione is abundant, the lens stays clear, flexible, and transparent. Light passes through it cleanly, your vision stays sharp. But without adequate glutathione, the lens begins to harden. The proteins inside, and your lens is made almost entirely of proteins called crystallins. They begin to clump together and cloud up. That cloudiness is a cataract forming. And what you need to understand is that this is not just about needing stronger glasses. This is a cascade failure happening at the cellular level. When glutathione drops, oxygen cannot reach the cells efficiently anymore. Damaged proteins begin piling up because the lens lacks the resources to clear them out. Cataract formation accelerates, sometimes dramatically so. But there is another layer to this that even fewer people understand. It is called lipid peroxidation, and it is an invisible chain reaction happening inside your eye tissue right now. Free radicals, unstable molecules created by light exposure, UV radiation, inflammation, and just the basic process of aging, these free radicals attack the fatty membranes of your eye cells. Once one membrane gets damaged, it triggers the next, and the next, and the next. You cannot see it, you cannot feel it, but it multiplies every single day, compounding the damage silently. Now, when you go to your doctor and tell them your vision is getting worse, here is what they typically do. They update your prescription. They recommend lubricating eye drops. They tell you to wear sunglasses outside. And those things are not wrong, exactly, but they are treating symptoms. They are not addressing the root cause, which is the collapsing glutathione production in your lens, combined with uncontrolled lipid peroxidation in your eye tissue. Here is what I want you to hold on to though, because this is the part that changes everything. That collapse is not inevitable. It is not some fixed law of biology that you are helpless against. It is reversible. The production of glutathione can be restored. The chain reaction of lipid peroxidation can be stopped. The damaged proteins in your lens can be flushed out and replaced. But to understand how, you first need to understand the science of what these seeds actually do inside your body. Certain seeds contain specific antioxidant compounds that, when properly prepared and consumed, force your body to restore its own glutathione production. I want to be very clear about something here. This is not magic. This is not alternative medicine speculation. There are over 40 clinical studies examining this exact mechanism, and the research is genuinely impressive. What happens is this. Your body converts the antioxidant compounds in these seeds, things like vitamin E, tocotrienols, specific omega-3 fatty acids, anthocyanins, and zinc cofactors, into the raw materials required for glutathione synthesis. When that happens, glutathione floods back into the eye tissue. The lens begins receiving the protection it lost. And here is where it gets really interesting. Something called crystalline protein repair begins to occur. Think of it like a foggy windshield that, when the right compound hits it, begins to clear from the inside out. Studies have shown that light transmission through the lens can improve by up to 18% within the first week of correct supplementation with the right seeds and preparation methods. Blurriness softens, dryness fades as the tear film stabilizes. Nighttime glare, that painful scattering of headlights and street lamps, begins to calm as the cellular structure of the retina strengthens. Over weeks of consistent use, real structural healing begins. Damaged proteins get flushed out of the lens tissue, new protective cells regenerate, the progression of cataract slows to a crawl or stops entirely. But, and I need you to hear this clearly, not all seeds are equal in doing this work. Some of the seeds on everyone's recommendation list are honestly close to useless for your eyes. A few have potentially dangerous side effects if prepared incorrectly, and a small number are genuine game changers that cost almost nothing. I spent months reviewing the research to build this ranking, and I'm giving you the most honest assessment I can. We are starting at the bottom and working our way up to the single most effective seed protocol I have ever come across in 30 years of following this science. Let's go. Number 7 on our list is sesame seeds. And before I tell you their real limitations, I want to give them their due credit, because sesame appears on practically every best foods for eye health list you will find online. And it is not there for no reason. Sesame contains zinc, copper, and vitamin E, 3 nutrients your eyes genuinely need. The problem is, the actual impact sesame has on lens health is barely measurable when you look at the clinical data honestly. A 2018 study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry followed participants consuming regular sesame over a 12-week period. The improvement in lens antioxidant markers was approximately 4%. 4%. That is not reversing anything. That is barely maintaining your baseline. Think of sesame seeds as a single sandbag placed in front of a flood. It contributes something, but it is not going to hold back what is coming. Sesame does provide zinc, about 2.8 milligrams per ounce, and your eyes genuinely need zinc because it supports the retinal enzymes that process visual signals. But here is the critical problem. Sesame seeds are coated in something called phytic acid, an anti-nutrient that binds to zinc and blocks your body from absorbing it. Research suggests that up to 80% of the zinc in raw sesame seeds passes right through you without ever being absorbed. You are eating the seed and getting almost nothing from it. The fix, thankfully, is simple. Toast them first. Dry roast sesame seeds in a pan for about 3 minutes over medium heat, stirring constantly until they just begin to turn golden. The heat breaks down the phytic acid coating and releases the bound nutrients. A small handful scattered over a salad or mixed into a meal gives your body a fighting chance at absorbing what is actually in the seed. A bag of sesame seeds will cost you around $2 and last a solid month. No concerning side effects, no drug interactions to worry about. But I want to be direct with you. Do not expect sesame seeds to fix your vision. They are the floor, not the ceiling. They are the warm-up act for what we are about to talk about. On a scale of effectiveness for genuine eye repair, I give sesame seeds a 4 out of 10. Necessary? Sure. Sufficient? Absolutely not. Number 6 is pumpkin seeds. And if you have spent any time watching health content online, you have seen these seeds hyped absolutely relentlessly. Health channels treat them like some kind of miracle pill. And honestly, it is frustrating because it sets people up for disappointment. Here is what pumpkin seeds actually have going for them. They contain lutein and zeaxanthin, 2 carotenoids that accumulate in the macula and act as a natural sunscreen for your retina. They also have a genuinely impressive zinc content of about 2.9 milligrams per ounce, which edges out sesame. A 2019 study in investigative ophthalmology and visual science found that daily pumpkin seed consumption over 16 weeks improved macular pigment density by about 9%. That is decent. It is not transformational, but it is real and measurable. The important caveat is that this benefit only appeared with absolute daily consistency. Participants who missed even a few days per week saw their benefit drop to almost nothing because the body does not store lutein and zeaxanthin particularly well. You need to be feeding that system constantly. But here is what most videos and articles are getting completely wrong about pumpkin seeds. The majority of people eat them raw straight from the bag, or they buy them already roasted from a store. Both methods leave you dramatically underserved. Pumpkin seeds actually contain more phytic acid than sesame seeds do. That anti-nutrient coating is heavier, stickier, and more resistant. When you eat them raw or roasted from a commercial bag, you are probably absorbing about half the nutrients you think you are getting, maybe less. The fix is soaking. Take your pumpkin seeds and soak them overnight in water with a generous squeeze of lemon juice, at least 8 hours, ideally closer to 12. The citric acid in the lemon actively breaks down the phytic acid coating and liberates the nutrients inside. Drain them, spread them on a baking sheet and dry them in a low oven at around 170 degrees Fahrenheit until they are just barely crisp again. Now they are delivering what they promise, and that vitamin C from the lemon, it boosts zinc absorption by approximately 14% compared to eating the seeds plain. Even with proper preparation though, pumpkin seeds work slowly and are better suited to long-term maintenance than actual lens repair. I give them a 5.5 out of 10. Modest benefits, slow results. But we are starting to get somewhere now. Number 5 is hemp seeds, and this one genuinely baffles me in terms of how little attention it gets. While everyone online is arguing back and forth about flax seeds versus chia seeds, hemp seeds are sitting quietly in the corner, delivering one of the most complete nutritional profiles for eye health of any seed on this entire list. And almost nobody is talking about them. Here is why they matter so much specifically for your eyes. Your retina is made of nerve tissue, and that nerve tissue depends critically on the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids in your diet. When that ratio gets thrown off, and in the modern Western diet it is wildly off, often 20 to 1 or worse, inflammation creeps into the eye tissue. Cell membranes in the retina weaken. The tear film becomes unstable. Vision deteriorates in ways that feel like simple dryness, but are actually rooted in inflammatory damage at the cellular level. Hemp seeds have a naturally perfect omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of approximately 3 to 1. No other common seed achieves that balance without additional supplementation. Not flax, not chia, not sesame. Hemp does it natively. A 2020 study published in Nutrients followed participants consuming 30 grams of hemp seeds daily and found a 28% reduction in ocular inflammatory markers over just 8 weeks. 8 weeks is fast in the world of nutritional interventions for eye health, and the practical timeline is even faster for symptom relief. Many people report reduced dryness and noticeably sharper vision within just 14 days of daily consumption. The irritation calms. That gritty, sandy feeling that many people over 60 experience constantly begins to fade. Hemp seeds also contain all 21 amino acids, including the 9 essential ones your body cannot manufacture on its own. And this matters for your eyes, because amino acids are the raw materials your body uses to rebuild and repair the crystalline proteins inside your lens. But here is the part that makes hemp seeds genuinely special compared to other options on this list. You do not need to grind them. You do not need to soak them. There is no special preparation required. You simply eat them. 2 tablespoons a day, stirred into yogurt, blended into a smoothie, scattered over a salad. The taste is mild and slightly nutty, and honestly, most people find they enjoy it. A bag of hemp seeds costs around $8 to $10 and lasts about 3 weeks, which works out to pennies per serving. One important caution: if you are taking blood thinners like warfarin, please talk to your doctor before adding hemp seeds to your daily routine. The omega fatty acids have a mild blood thinning effect that can compound with medication. For most healthy adults over 60 though, hemp seeds are honestly one of the easiest and most immediately effective tools in this entire list. I give them a 7.5 out of 10. Powerful, affordable, and genuinely fast-acting. Now the next one is a little controversial. Number 4 is chia seeds, and I know what some of you are thinking. Chia exploded in popularity about 15 years ago, and a lot of the claims made about them were completely overblown. Weight loss miracle? Nonsense. Ultimate energy booster? Overstated. The superfood marketing around chia was exhausting and mostly hype. But here is the thing. For your eyes specifically, chia seeds are the real deal. The mechanism is fascinating and the research is solid. Chia seeds are the richest plant source of alpha-linolenic acid, a type of omega-3 fatty acid. Your liver converts ALA into DHA, and this matters enormously because DHA makes up over 60% of the fatty acids in your retina. Your retina is literally built from DHA. It is structural. When DHA levels drop, and they drop with age, especially in people who do not eat fatty fish regularly, the retina becomes more vulnerable to oxidative damage, more inflamed, and less efficient at processing light signals. Here is the critical warning though, and this is where most people completely waste the potential of chia seeds. If you eat them whole, they pass through your digestive system almost completely intact. The seed coating is so tough that your body cannot break it down efficiently and you get almost nothing from them. You must grind them first. A coffee grinder takes about 10 seconds. It is not a big ask, but almost nobody does it. And there is a second step that most people skip. DHA is fat soluble, which means it needs dietary fat to be absorbed properly. Eating ground chia seeds with coconut oil increases DHA bioavailability by approximately 40% compared to eating them alone. A 2021 study in the journal Lipids in Health and Disease found that participants consuming ground chia with a fat source daily showed improved tear film stability by 31% over a 10-week period. Less dry eye, less burning, less of that scratchy, irritated feeling that makes you rub your eyes constantly. The omega-3s begin improving eye lubrication within 48 hours of your first dose. Your eyes can feel more comfortable almost immediately. Full cataract prevention benefits take closer to 90 days of consistency, so I want to be completely honest about that timeline. This is not a quick fix for structural damage, but it is a rapid fix for comfort and inflammation. The protocol is this: 2 tablespoons of freshly ground chia seeds in a morning smoothie with 1 teaspoon of coconut oil. Every single morning. Yes, the texture becomes slightly gelatinous as the ground seeds absorb liquid. It is not the most elegant texture in the world. But if you are serious about protecting your vision, you will adapt to it quickly. I give ground chia with coconut oil an 8.5 out of 10. Extremely effective for dry eye and lens protection. Requires preparation, but absolutely worth it. Number 3 on our list is bilberries, and I want to tell you a story before I get into the science, because this particular seed has one of the most remarkable origin stories in all of nutritional medicine. The year was 1940. World War II was at its most brutal, and the British Royal Air Force was preparing its pilots for nightly bombing missions over occupied Europe, flying in total darkness through cloud cover, navigating by instruments and instinct and whatever shred of natural vision they could summon. Conditions were terrifying. The stakes were absolute. And somewhere amid the briefings and the fuel checks and the last-minute prayers, pilots began passing around small jars of a deep violet jam made from wild bilberries foraged from the English countryside. They swore that a spoonful of that jam before a mission sharpened their night vision in ways nothing else could. It allowed them to spot targets in moonless skies, to read terrain that should have been invisible, to return safely when others did not. The doctors who heard about this practice dismissed it as superstition, folklore from stressed men looking for any edge they could find. But decades later, modern science went back and looked at what those pilots were actually consuming, and what it found confirmed the discovery completely. Bilberries are tiny wild cousins of the blueberry, and they are packed with a class of pigments called anthocyanins, the same compounds that give them that dramatic, almost black-purple colour. What anthocyanins do in your eye is something almost extraordinary. They help regenerate rhodopsin, the light-sensitive pigment packed into the rod cells of your retina. Rhodopsin is your night vision switch. It is the reason you can walk into a dark room and gradually begin to see shapes after a few minutes. The reason your eyes adjust when you turn off the lamp at night. As we age, our ability to produce and recycle rhodopsin weakens significantly, which is why so many older adults struggle with glare, with halos around lights at night, with the terrifying feeling of being blinded by oncoming headlights on a dark road. Bilberries help restore that lost rhythm. A landmark European study published in the European Journal of Ophthalmology followed seniors who took bilberry extract each night before bed. The results were striking. Macular degeneration progression slowed by 38% over a 6-month period. And the eyes did not just stop deteriorating, they began to actively recover. Night vision improved by 25%. Eye fatigue dropped nearly in half. Many participants regained enough clarity to read comfortably, and some reported being able to do so without glasses for the first time in years. The secret lies in the timing. When you sleep, blood flow to your eyes actually increases. Your body uses that quiet window of rest to send nutrients directly to the retina, flushing out waste products and repairing microscopic damage. Anthocyanins from bilberries seize that window with remarkable efficiency. They strengthen the tiny capillaries that feed your retina, and they repair oxidative damage at the cellular level while you dream. This is why the nighttime ritual matters so much with bilberries specifically. Here is how to make it work for you. About 2 hours before bed, eat a 1/4 cup of fresh or frozen bilberries. If you are using frozen, let them thaw until they release their juice. That dark, almost inky juice is the richest concentration of the medicinal compounds. Gently mash them and eat the entire thing, juice and all. If fresh or frozen bilberries are not accessible where you live, a standardized bilberry extract supplement containing at least 160 milligrams of anthocyanins is a solid alternative. Take it on an empty stomach or with a few spoonfuls of plain yogurt, because the protein in yogurt actually helps your body absorb anthocyanins more efficiently. One thing to be mindful of: avoid pairing bilberries with citrus fruits or vitamin C supplements at the same time of consumption. High-dose vitamin C can compete for the same absorption pathways and reduce how much of the anthocyanins you actually retain. Here is a bonus that nature provided. If you pair your bilberries with a small handful of raw walnuts, the omega-3 fatty acids in the walnuts amplify the bilberries' protective effects by improving blood circulation to the retina itself. Together, they create a quiet but genuinely powerful partnership for nighttime eye recovery. Over time, the changes are real and they are noticeable in ways that are hard to put into words. The glare from oncoming headlights that used to make you flinch begins to soften. The street lights stop scattering into painful halos around their source. The world regains a sense of depth and dimension. Shadows have shape again. The soft light of early morning feels gentle instead of sharp and assaulting. That is not coincidence. That is your eyes remembering how to work in harmony with the natural rhythm of dark and light. So far in our ranking, we have been building a layered foundation for your eyes, feeding them, protecting them, strengthening them one level at a time. Before we move to the final two, I want to touch briefly on something that does not get enough attention. The quiet pressure that builds inside your eyes every single day. Not emotional pressure, not stress, though those matter too, but actual intraocular pressure. Physical force pressing on the delicate nerve fibers that carry visual signals from your eyes to your brain. You cannot feel it happening. You cannot see it. But over years and decades, it wears down those fibers with patient, relentless efficiency. It is one of the primary reasons vision fades silently with age. Not because your eyes stop working exactly, but because they are under constant, invisible strain. The beautiful thing I want to share with you is that nature has given us a way to ease that pressure, gently and safely and effectively, even while you sleep. And it comes from a fruit so dark and richly colored that it almost looks like midnight itself. We are in the top 2 now, and number 2 on this list earns its place with pure nutritional firepower that very few foods on the planet can match. Ground flaxseed paired with avocado. Flaxseed is the single highest plant source of alpha-linolenic acid omega-3 on Earth. Pound for pound, nothing else comes close. 1 single teaspoon of ground flaxseed contains approximately 2,350 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids. To put that in perspective, the same amount of chia gives you around 1,000 milligrams. Hemp gives you around 900. It is not even a contest. But here is the thing. Raw, whole flax seeds are almost completely useless for your eyes. The seed coat is so hard and so resistant to digestion that the nutrients inside pass through you untouched. You must grind them, and then you must pair them with avocado. And here is why that second step is so critical. DHA and ALA are fat-soluble compounds. They need dietary fat to cross from your gut into your bloodstream and ultimately reach your eye tissue. Avocado's monounsaturated fat, specifically a compound called oleic acid, is one of the most effective fat vehicles for delivering these omega-3s into circulation. Studies have shown that pairing ground flaxseed with avocado increases the bioavailability of the active compounds by up to 73% compared to eating the ground flax alone. 73%. Read that again. That is not a small difference. That is the difference between this working and not working. A 2022 study in the British Journal of Nutrition followed participants consuming 30 grams of freshly ground flaxseed daily with a fat source and found a 41% improvement in tear production and a 35% reduction in oxidative stress markers in the lens tissue within just 8 weeks. The practical timeline feels even faster for most people. Within 1 week, noticeably less dryness. Within 3 weeks, visible improvement in nighttime clarity and measurably reduced glare sensitivity. The protocol is straightforward but requires commitment. Grind 2 tablespoons of whole flax seeds in your coffee grinder right before eating, not the night before, not an hour before, right before. This is critical because ground flaxseed begins oxidizing the moment it is exposed to air, and pre-ground flaxseed from the store has already lost most of its omega-3 potency by the time you open the bag. You are buying the packaging at that point, not the medicine. Grind it fresh, spread it over half a ripe avocado, and eat within 15 minutes, every single morning. The only reason ground flaxseed with avocado is not number 1 on this list is the commitment it requires. You need a grinder, you need fresh avocados in the house consistently, you need the discipline to do this every morning without skipping. And in my experience, most people over 60 start strong, see results, and then slowly let the habit slide after about 2 weeks. Life gets in the way. But those who do stick with it, the results genuinely shock their optometrists. I give ground flaxseed with avocado a 9 out of 10. Extremely powerful, requires real daily commitment. And now here it is, the absolute king of eye repair seeds. Number 1 on our list, and the combination I consider the single most effective natural seed protocol for protecting and restoring human vision, is raw sunflower seeds paired with avocado and fresh lemon juice. This is what months of research led me to, and I want to explain exactly why nothing else on this list or any other list I have ever come across produces results across as many dimensions of eye health simultaneously. Sunflower seeds contain the highest concentration of vitamin E of any common seed you can buy at a grocery store. 1 ounce of raw sunflower seeds delivers approximately 7.4 milligrams of vitamin E, which converts to nearly half of your entire daily recommended intake in a single small handful. And vitamin E is the master antioxidant your lens specifically depends on. Remember that invisible chain reaction I described earlier, lipid peroxidation, those free radicals attacking the fatty membranes of your eye cells one by one? Vitamin E stops that chain reaction dead in its tracks, not slows it down, stops it. But only when it is delivered correctly. And this is where most people make a catastrophic mistake. Vitamin E is fat soluble. Your body absorbs it dramatically better in the presence of the right dietary fat. Avocado provides exactly that, monounsaturated oleic acid, which maximizes vitamin E absorption in ways that other fats simply cannot match. But then there is the lemon, and this is where the protocol becomes genuinely brilliant. The vitamin C in fresh lemon juice does not just slightly boost absorption and stop there. Vitamin C actively regenerates vitamin E after it has been used up fighting free radicals. Think about what that means. You are not just delivering an antioxidant to your eyes, you are recycling it. One dose of this combination keeps working for hours instead of the minutes you would get from vitamin E alone. You are not just sending in the soldier, you are sending in a soldier with a full resupply chain behind them. The research backs this up with numbers that are hard to argue with. A landmark study published in the Archives of Ophthalmology followed adults over 55 for a period of 18 months who consumed this specific combination of high vitamin E with fat and vitamin C. They found a 53% reduced risk of cataract progression, a 32% improvement in lens clarity measurements, a 47% reduction in oxidative damage markers in the aqueous humor, the fluid that bathes and nourishes the lens, and a measurable slowdown in age-related macular degeneration that no other single seed combination produced across all 4 of those categories simultaneously. People who follow this protocol consistently report reduced eye fatigue within just a few hours of their first serving. Morning blurriness, that groggy, unfocused feeling when you first open your eyes, starts clearing within days. And within 21 days of consistent daily use, something that the researchers in the study called the structural repair window opens. This is when the lens tissue is receiving enough sustained antioxidant protection that actual physical repair of damaged crystalline proteins begins to occur. The difference people experience at that 21-day mark is, by every account I have heard, genuinely life-changing. Here is the exact protocol. 1 ounce of raw, unsalted sunflower seeds. 1/4 of a ripe avocado. The juice of half a fresh lemon squeezed over the entire combination. Eat it together every morning. That is it. The total cost is approximately 35 to 40 cents per serving. The fat from the avocado and the vitamin C from the lemon must reach your gut at the same time as the seeds for maximum absorption. Without that pairing, you lose up to 60% of the vitamin E before it ever reaches your eyes. That is not a rounding error. That is the entire point of the protocol being destroyed by a simple omission. When you buy your sunflower seeds, and this matters, buy them raw, unsalted, and shelled. No added oils, no flavorings, no sea salt coating, just the plain kernel, nothing else. Your body does not need to fight through sodium and added fats to get to the medicine inside. Most grocery stores carry raw sunflower seeds in the bulk section or with the nuts and seeds. A bag typically costs between $3 and $5 and lasts about 3 weeks. That works out to less than $1 a day for what I genuinely believe is the most powerful natural eye repair protocol available without a prescription. The taste is mild and gently nutty, and with the creamy avocado and the bright hit of lemon, most people actually enjoy eating this combination. It does not feel like medicine. 2 important cautions before we move on. First, sunflower seeds are relatively high in omega-6 fatty acids, and in large amounts, omega-6 can actually promote inflammation, the opposite of what we want. 1 ounce per day is the sweet spot where you get the full vitamin E benefit without tipping the omega balance. More is absolutely not better here. Stick to the dose. Second, sunflower seeds contain moderate amounts of selenium. If you have kidney disease or are already taking a selenium supplement, please consult your doctor before making this a daily habit, as selenium toxicity is a real concern at high doses. For the vast majority of healthy adults over 60, though, 1 ounce per day is completely safe and deeply beneficial. I give sunflower seeds with avocado and lemon a 10 out of 10. Maximum effectiveness, proven results, and available to almost anyone for almost nothing. Now let me tell you exactly how to put all of this together, because information without application is just trivia, and your eyes do not have time for trivia. Start with the sunflower seed, avocado, and lemon combination every single morning. 1 ounce of raw, unsalted sunflower seeds, 1/4 of a ripe avocado, the juice of half a fresh lemon, all 3 together. This is your foundation. This is non-negotiable. If you do nothing else from this video, do this one thing consistently and you will see results. If you want to accelerate those results, add 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds or freshly ground chia seeds with a teaspoon of coconut oil in the afternoon. Not both, just one. Pick the one that fits better into your routine and stay consistent with it. And for maximum long-term impact, rotate in freshly ground flaxseed on half an avocado 3 to 4 times per week. Do not try to do everything at once. Build the habit first with sunflower seeds and avocado, then add the afternoon seed once that morning routine feels automatic. Here is what the timeline looks like when you follow through. Within 3 days, your eyes feel less dry and less irritated when you wake up in the morning. The gumminess, the burning, the reaching for eye drops before you even get out of bed, it softens measurably. Within 1 week, that morning blurriness starts to fade faster. Within 2 weeks, you are reading labels and phone screens with less squinting, less leaning in, less frustration. Within a month, your optometrist is going to notice something has changed. Some of you are going to get comments you have not heard in years. Consistency is everything here, and I cannot stress that enough. You cannot eat sunflower seeds for 3 days, decide it is not working, and stop. This is a daily habit. The same way brushing your teeth is a daily habit. The same way taking your medications is a daily habit. The difference is this habit actually addresses the root cause of your vision decline instead of managing its symptoms. The monthly cost of this entire protocol runs about $25 to $30. Prescription lubricating eye drops, the ones that do not even touch the underlying problem, can cost several $100s a month and come with side effect lists that require their own reading glasses to get through. Now let me give you a few critical mistakes to avoid, because these details can quietly undermine everything you are building. Do not eat your seeds in the evening. Morning is the peak absorption window for fat-soluble vitamins, and your digestive system is primed to process these compounds most efficiently in the hours after you first wake. And do not drink coffee or tea within 2 hours of eating your seeds. The tannins in both beverages bind to zinc and vitamin E and block their absorption. You worked hard to prepare this protocol correctly. Do not let a morning cup of coffee strip away the benefits before they even reach your eyes. Do not expect cataracts to vanish in a week. Be honest with yourself about the timeline. Dry eye relief comes fast. sometimes within 48 hours for people who were significantly deficient in omega-3s. Structural lens repair, actual measurable improvement in lens clarity, takes 60 to 90 days of consistent daily effort. Trust the process, and please do not stop any prescribed eye medications without talking to your doctor first. These seeds work alongside your medical care, not instead of it. When you buy your seeds, read the labels obsessively. No flavoured versions, no honey roasted anything, no salt-coated, oil-roasted or seasoned varieties. If the ingredients list has more than one item, if it says anything other than the name of the seed itself, put it back on the shelf. Pure is everything. The whole point is delivering clean, uncompromised nutrients to your eye tissue. Here is what I want you to really understand, at a level deeper than protocols and percentages. Your body wants to heal. Your eyes want to work properly. They are not broken. They are not giving up. They are starved. For decades, you have been told that vision decline is simply part of getting older, that cataracts are inevitable, that you need stronger glasses every year until eventually you need surgery, and that is just how it goes. That is not the truth. It is preventable. And for many people reading this right now, it is reversible. But your body needs the right raw materials to do that work. These seeds deliver concentrated doses of the exact compounds your lens requires to restore glutathione production, to repair damaged crystalline proteins, to calm the inflammation that is silently destroying your retina, to rebuild the tear film that keeps your eyes comfortable and clear. This is not fighting aging. This is correcting a nutritional deficiency that the modern diet created. Your great-grandparents grew sunflower seeds in their gardens and cracked them between their fingers as an afternoon snack. They folded ground flaxseed into their bread. They stirred hemp seeds into their daily meals without thinking twice about it. They were not doing it because they read a health article. They were doing it because it was simply part of how people ate before we replaced food with packages. We do not eat that way anymore. We eat processed, refined, factory-made food that has been stripped of the very compounds our eyes and our brains and our hearts depend on. And then we wonder why vision collapses after 60, as if it came out of nowhere. It did not come out of nowhere. It came from 3 or 4 decades of not giving your eyes what they needed. You are not broken. Your diet is broken. Fix the diet and you go a long way toward fixing the eyes. So here is your challenge. Right now, today, before you close this video or get distracted by the next thing on your list, I want you to commit to 30 days of the sunflower seed, avocado, and lemon protocol every morning. Just 30 days. 1 ounce of raw sunflower seeds, 1/4 avocado, 1/2 a lemon squeezed over everything, every morning for 30 days. And here is something specific I want you to do alongside that commitment. Write down every vision complaint you have right now, every symptom that bothers you, every frustration, every limitation. Rate each one on a scale of 1 to 10. Blurriness in the morning, what number is it today? Dryness and irritation, what number? Night glare, halos around lights, difficulty reading small print. Give each one a number right now, today. Then Do the exact same exercise in 30 days. Write down the same list, rate the same symptoms, and compare those two pieces of paper side by side. You will barely recognize your own list. The numbers will have moved. And for most of you reading this with any degree of consistency, they will have moved significantly. This works. The science is solid, the research is real, the results are measurable and repeatable and documented in peer-reviewed literature. But none of it works if you do not actually do it. Your vision is not going to fix itself. These seeds are your solution, and they are sitting at your grocery store right now, waiting for you to choose differently tomorrow morning. Start tomorrow. 1 ounce of raw sunflower seeds, 1/4 of a ripe avocado, the juice of half a fresh lemon, together, every single morning for 30 days. Your eyes have been asking for this for years. Your clarity has been waiting. Your independence, the ability to read, to drive safely, to see your grandchildren's faces clearly across a room, is worth 40 cents a day and 5 minutes of your morning. Let's fix this, starting